important thing. The first thing, I'm going to show you how we use proprietary AI tool my team and I built. Now, this is a tool that actually we built together with a Wall Street bank analysis firm. I cannot tell you too much details there, right? But essentially, we use a lot of the ideas that we were building for them, and we came out and we built for retail essentially, right? So that we average people can actually use it. This is the same tool that basically do the job of an entire floor of Wall Street research firm, right? Imagine this, on one floor, you can have like 30 to 50 employees, and these tools, not just one, there's a few of these, can basically replace the entire floor, 30 to 50 employees in Wall Street. And I'm going to put a working version into your hand today, okay? And then you can go test it out. Two, I'm going to show you how you can read the chart to find the exact entry, to find the exact exit, so you know exactly what to do, right? So you know exactly when to buy, when not to buy. So when everyone is talking about buying, you don't just trust them. You actually go and figure it out when is the best entry price, what is the right price to pay, okay? And three, and this is the big one, we're going to take what the AI gives us, and I'm going to open a real money trade. On my account, you'll watch me raise real capital, find the entry, set the exit, the whole thing. No edits, everything is live, okay? This is not an edit, this is not like a video. No, trust me, bro, everything you see happen live on here. You get what I'm saying? If yes, type in yes in the chat. I just want you guys to know that I'm genuinely here for that, okay? Because for me, there's a lot of BS, there's a lot of like fabrication, there's a lot of fake in the financial industry. This is far from it because I'm showing you everything live, okay? Then I just want to remind you guys of a very important quote that I think is key for you, okay? A parachute is only life-saving if you know when and how to deploy it. Otherwise, it's just an expensive fabric. If you understand this term, and if you can relate to this term, type in "you" for understand in the chat. Okay, because this is, in my opinion, my biggest condition from last night. You know, give me 100% of your attention, because a parachute can only help you if you know how to open it and when to open it, right? Some people open it too early and then they have issues. Some people open it too late and then they break their leg when they land, right? You need to have the skill, and that's what yesterday and today is all about. So, but before we dived in, as promised yesterday, I will put something in your hands right now for being early. How many of you are an early bird? You were here punctual, you were here on time, typing me in the chat, right? Because yesterday I promised you I'll drop this thing called the AI Super Cycle Command Center into your hands, okay? For those of you who show up on time. And the AI Super Cycle Command Center, this is a full live dashboard that I told you about last night, okay? My team will drop a link in a little bit. Okay, they already started dropping the link in the chat. That's fine, right? You can go check it out, okay? In order for you to actually get access, let me just quickly show you how it works. Just a small tutorial here. You guys can go mess with it yourself later. You don't have to go mess with it now, right? But essentially, if you go over here, you type in the password. The password is obviously the AI King of the World. Give me 1 second. The AI King of the World. And it's this one here, Jensen Huang. And then the moment you're in, okay, if you like dark, you like white, I like bright. I don't know about you guys, okay? It's easier on my eye. And then you can see like all these are 100 stocks where it pulls live data, and you can go and see what are the stocks that you want to pay attention to, what are the stocks that you want to go trade. And especially if you hear a lot of news, people talk about certain stocks that you don't know, you can come in here and you can actually go and check it out yourself. So for instance, you can go over here. Let's say I want to go into AVGO. Now I'm going to tell you Broadcom is one of the ones that I'm actually looking for opportunity. Okay. So if you want, you can go and see what's the recent contract they've signed, the valuation, and all this kind of cool stuff. You can come and mess with it yourself. This is for those people that are very new to the world of AI trading and AI investing. And if you do not know what is the difference between Applied Materials and Lam Research, you do not know what Oracle is, everything is going to be here. Okay, you can go check it out yourself. Essentially, this is my watch list for the AI Super Cycle. The link is going to be in the chat. The password to log in is Jensen Huang, one word, small letters, all. Okay, so this is going to be cool, but you don't use it now, because today there is something very big that happened, right? There is something very big that happened that could potentially be giving us a very good trade later. Okay, and that is actually not delivered here. That is actually delivered into my Telegram by my AI agent, and I'm going to show you live how it works later on, okay? How many of you are excited to see how AI actually helps people like me make more money? If you want to know how you can leverage that, type in me in the chat, okay? So cool. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push on with the content today, because I want to make sure where we have time to do live trading. So the more time we have, the better opportunity we can spot. So let me get straight with you because it sets everything up tonight. Last night, the triangle has 3 layers, and I'll admit something most people in my position would never admit. Okay, one of those layers are genuinely very, very hard. I'm going to be very honest with you. Okay, so obviously the top capital flow, once you see this staircase, you can't unsee it. It clicks. This is easy. In fact, we have a tool that actually does it. Okay, in fact, the market is not open yet until 1 hour later. We still have 1 hour until the market open. So the data won't be the freshest, but essentially we have this thing called a smart capital flow monitor. If I refresh it, I don't think it's going to be the latest because the market is not open yet, right? So give me 1 second, asking me to log in again. Okay, so I'm going to log in, and yeah, it's not the latest. It's fetching core assets, fetching assets right now. So, but it will not be the latest because the market hasn't opened yet. It takes another 1 hour before it does in the US. But just yesterday, we see a lot of smart money selling corporate bonds and long-term treasuries. They're moving their money into technology and utilities. Now, after researching it more, after figuring out more, I realized that there is actually a lot of capital flow into, specifically back to memory. Okay. And there is one more here that it hasn't shown up yet, but I think it will show up today. It hasn't shown up here yet, but I think it will show up today, and it has to do with energy, right? It has to do with energy. So later today, we will go and figure out whether I'm right or I'm wrong. Okay. If not, there is always a trade, which is, in the technology. Technology is actually, every day there's a trade in technology, whether you're long or short, there's a way to make money from technology, right? So I will show you that later. And then at the bottom, you have the charts, okay? To be honest with you, TA, technical analysis, using the chart to find entry and exit, it's like going to the gym. The more you do it, the easier it gets. If every day you spend like 15 minutes to chart, you will become better, okay? Screen is blur. That's really odd, okay? If the screen is blur, type in, which screen? Are you talking about the slides? If you guys can see this chart and technical, can you just type in CT in the chat just so I know, right? Not the slides, all screens blur. AI screen blur when the AI stuff. Slide okay. Slides are okay, just the website. Oh, okay. I have no idea why. Maybe because this smart capital flow monitor, it doesn't allow the screen to be shared, okay, in order for safety reasons, okay? But I'll give you a screenshot later, don't worry. Okay, I have a screenshot. Maybe I don't know why this happens, but we'll play around later, and you guys let me know. Just keep giving me feedback because I cannot see what you cannot see, because when I share it, I see very clearly, because obviously this is in my computer screen, right? You see that? Looks very clear to me. Is it clear or not clear? Clear or blur? Let me know in the chat. Okay, I have no idea why it's not clear. This is some tech stuff. You see, so a lot of people say blur. No worries. I'll try to take screenshot and then I feed it to you guys. But what I can just read out to you, I can tell you is that money capital is flowing into 3 things: TUE, technology, utilities, and energy, and is flowing out of treasury and high yield treasury. Okay, so and money is flowing into energy as well. So we will open this again later when the market open, because the market is not open yet. We wait until the US market open. Okay, so not sure why I can't share that with you, but we'll figure it out over time. Okay. It shows that you guys probably will need this terminal. Then the middle layer, let's talk about the fundamentals. This is the deep, what exactly do I trade? Okay, when to trade, what price to go in, what price to get out, that's easy. You use chart to tell you that, right? Which sector to go into, that's easy. Smart money capital flow, what actually tells you exactly where the money is flowing to, right? But we need to know what specific stock or commodities or crypto even in that particular sector that we need to trade. That one is a little bit challenging. That is a beast. So let me give you an example here. Okay, I want you to look at this. I think majority of you probably don't know what this is. To be honest, I also don't know what this is. Okay, right now somewhere in the world, there's a chip, right, that is being connected to another chip, right? Chip A connected to chip B. And here's the question that decides whether a company wins or lose, right? Which is crazy. Is the connection, did they connect it with copper or fiber optic, right? What do you guys think? Copper or fiber optic? Type in the chat, copper or fiber optic. You see, I'm going to be very honest with you. I didn't have an electrical engineering degree or training at all. Most of us probably don't. In fact, most of us have no idea what the difference between copper and fiber optic is, except we know that fiber optic is probably like a glass, it's faster because we use fiber internet, right? But do we know the cost? Do we know the supply chain? Do we know the supply issues, right? I'm sitting here on fiber internet right now. I'm going to be honest with you guys. My internet connection is fiber internet, but if you put me on the spot, right, tell me 3 reasons why fiber optic is better than copper when it connects. I can't tell you too much details actually, to be honest, or why fiber optic is better than copper. Maybe copper is cheaper than fiber optic. I have no clue, right? But that's just one tiny detail, one tiny corner and one sector. And the chip and data center is a lot more, right? That's the level of depth this takes. The numbers that matter for a chip company are completely different from a quantum company, completely different from a biotech company. To do it properly, you need a specialist in every sector at once, right? For those of you who follow me a long time, maybe you watch my Instagram, you know that New York is my second home. And every single time I go back to New York, sometimes I meet like the craziest people, right? Someone that could be doing electrical engineering, that could be working in Wall Street firm, and I'll ask, what do you do in a Wall Street firm? And they say, my job is to research wires and cables and send the report to my boss. And that guy is in the finance industry, but he studies electrical engineering, right? And this is very common because you need to hire what they call industry expert in that particular industry or particular sector in order to give the best call copper or fiber optic, right? So this is very, very tough. How many of you agree that for a normal human being, like we are just simple people, I just want to eat my hamburgers, I just want to go travel for me, I want to travel to like Barcelona, I want to enjoy some nice food, I just want to take care of my family, I want to take care of my animal shelters, I just want to like maybe buy some nice stuff for myself. That's all I want. I don't care copper or fiber optic. How many of you agree? Like if you're in that particular field, type in A in the chat. I'm not like a data center enthusiast, right? So Wall Street firms actually in New York pay people, okay, to research one question for 17 to 14 days. I don't know if you guys know this, right? They would, like, let's say when they're researching real estate, they will actually go to an actual real estate. They'll fly 6-7 hours to that particular location. They'll go and research and ask people and do surveys. This is exactly why Wall Street firms pay people to research a single one of these questions for 2 weeks, sometimes even more than that. So for 2 weeks of work, just to understand one piece. That's just not realistic for a retail trader like us. It's not realistic for even 10 of us. It's not even realistic for 100 of us. This is the war and this is the resistance, right? So this is where actually most average people like me and you, this is where they give up because the research is too complex. The data center is too complex. Technology is too complex. If I ask you how AI works, you can't even tell me properly how it works, where it gathers its intelligence, how it trains, what's inferencing. It's very complicated. And I've been in the AI industry. I've been studying the whole AI investment thesis for over 2 years now. And I still am learning new things every single day, right? It is completely crazy. So a while back, I went looking for a way around that wall to figure out how can I do a better research, a more accurate, but at the same time speed up everything. And for those of you who know, I visit New York very often. In fact, this year I went twice, right? And every single time I go, I always go to FIDI. So FIDI is short for Financial District in New York. Actually, there's no such thing as Wall Street. Wall Street is just being labeled as a type of people or group of industry. But if you go to New York and also this place called Hudson Yards, this is where all the big banks, all the big trading firms are, right? And I go meet my friends who because I used to live in the US and a lot of my friends actually end up working in Wall Street, right? I get to meet up with them. I get to understand them. I get to see how they work. And ask them, hey, you know, what's going on? What's new? What are some new development? What are you guys working on? And I found out something that genuinely surprised me, something that I don't think most people realize already happened, okay? And that is apparently a lot of those analysts got fired, okay? Analysts are key to a Wall Street firm, whether they're in quant or whether they're in hedge funds, whether they're in private equity, public equity, doesn't matter. But as long as they are managing finance, they must have AI, they must have analysts to do research. A lot of those analysts, the ones, the smartest people in the room where they have like a 4-year degree from Harvard, from like MIT, from Brown University, from Yale, from Cornell, whose entire job is to research stocks all day. Apparently, all of them got let go, fired. And I think about who those people are. These are not slackers, you know. These are people who went to the most prestigious university, right? These are the people who spent six figures, hundreds of thousands of dollars on their education, the best of the best. And right now, a lot of them are sitting at home unemployed because they've been replaced by AI. Okay, how many of you know this? If you know this, type in yes in the chat. In fact, this is not just happening in the US. China is doing the same thing, right? Singapore is having the same moment right now. Hong Kong is having the same moment right now. And even in Dubai, where I am right now, Abu Dhabi and Dubai, there is literally a politician that sits in the parliament who is an AI, right? In fact, the banks are using AI. Everything is AI. Guys, we cannot avoid this fact. It's like if we go back to the 90s and when internet came, we say, oh, we will never use internet, I'll use fax machine for an entire life. That is never going to happen because fax machine got replaced by email and then email now got replaced by WhatsApp and so on and so forth. How many of you agree? Type in A in the chat, right? That is an inevitable fact. So I dug into why. And here's the answer, right? Wall Street figured out that they could cut the cost of all these expensive analysts and replace most of their work with artificial intelligence. And I didn't read about this in magazine. I lived it because I always thought that they will still retain a lot of these analysts, but these analysts will be using AI, right? This is my thought. You will still hire the people from Harvard, from MIT, but their job is to sit in front of the computer, use AI to work faster. That was my thought. But this year, it completely changed. Because remember the floor that I was telling you filled with Wall Street analysts? The floor is gone. It became a canteen, right? It became a cafeteria. I'm not even joking. I wish I am joking, but it is not a joke. It became a cafeteria plus living room where people can come and play video games. I'm not even joking about this, guys, right? So what does it say? The world is changing very, very quickly because a lot of things are being replaced by AI. In fact, the police station in Dubai, right? There's no police in there. It's an AI. So why? Because AI is faster and more effective than human beings. It is a fact. And those of you who are working at a job right now, how many of you are working for someone right now? You are in an employment right now. If that's you, type in E for employment in the chat, right? There is a chance. I wouldn't say it's a big chance because I do not know what you do. Maybe you do something very important, right? But even the important ones are being replaced by AI. So we have to be able to understand this fact, right? So even in my company, the Future Trends, we try to hire analysts for 4 years now, right? When we were building Future Trends, our community, I wanted to hire 4 to 5 analysts to power our research, to give our members the most powerful research possible. And I want them to do research every day, send it to me before the New York market open, and then only with proof, and then so that my members can also benefit from it. For 4 years, we try to hire amazing researchers. And every single one of them, I'm going to be very honest with you, they wanted very high salary, very big benefit, a lot of money. And to do that, right, it turns out AI can now do most of this faster, cheaper, and around the clock, right? Without a single complaint. This is the part that I love the most, 0 complaint. And this is the part where I need you to hear because it's bigger than trading. We are walking into what they call a K-shaped economy. How many of you heard of this thing called K-shaped economy? Type in the word K or the letter K. Picture the letter K. One line goes up, one line goes down. From this point on, those are the only 2 directions. And the people that learn to use AI to write the line that goes up, they get richer. They become faster with less effort. In fact, they're more accurate because when they research, it's more accurate. Just now, I see a lot of people will say, oh, copper is no good because fiber optics is this and that. Actually, how do you know those are true, right? It's not entirely true because every data center can be different. Every jurisdiction can be different. And the supply chain is also different depending on where you put it. And depending on what kind of data inferencing you are doing, it's also different, right? So a normal human being cannot just put one line and say copper is worse than fiber optic. It's not just like that. It's beyond that. How many of you agree? Type in A in the chat. Because we need to understand that it's not just an apple or orange. You have to understand why sometimes you need apple and why sometimes you need orange, right? So the people who got replaced by AI, they write the line down, the red line down. You see that, okay? They get poorer. They get left behind. They're watching jobs. They train their entire life. They go to school, right? To learn, to spend so much money to go to school, and the career just disappear. Remember when I told you yesterday? Do you remember? I'll talk about travel agency in the 90s. If you want to, let's say you want to travel to, I don't know, let's say you want to travel to Japan, right? what do? You go to the travel agency, you ask for a brochure for Japan, and then you ask question about the Japan trip, and then you pay. And when you pay with credit card back then, there is this machine that pull like that. I don't know if you guys remember. You guys remember typing you in the chat? If you guys are young, you guys now do just tap. Maybe even tap with your iWatch and Apple Watch, right? Last time that you have to pay like that, or you have to bring cash, right, to go to the travel agency to buy the tickets. Now, guys, I turn on my phone, I can literally ask, hey, Claude, hey, ChatGPT, I would like to book a flight to Barcelona, because this is literally what I just did yesterday. I was planning my birthday trip this year. I was saying that, hey, my birthday is this day to this day. I love soccer. Can you arrange something for me? And he was telling me, hey, you should book this to this game, go on this date, buy this flight because this flight is cheaper and you can seat business for this. And then, but at the same time, you can also go and enjoy these 3 meals. Everything has been planned for me within 2 minutes. The world has changed and we cannot get left behind. We are living in the same economy, the same world, but there is a two complete opposite direction. How many of you agree with this statement, right? Which is why, which line you're on comes down to one choice. Do you use AI or does AI replace you? That's when it really clicked for me. The game has already changed. I just had to decide which side of the K that I wanted to be on. And there's two kinds of people, only two, because here's what all this is really telling you about the next 5 to 10 years. There are going to be two types of people, right? The first type, the group one, they're going to learn to use AI, pulls away from everyone else. They make money faster, right? They make more money, and with way less guessing. The tools do all the heavy lifting. They just make the decision. The group number two, okay, the second group, they get left behind, grinding by hand at the exact same work group one automated, working harder, falling further behind, confused why everyone around them seems to be working faster, getting result faster. Same market, same chart, same people, right? Same opportunities sitting right in front of both groups, but two completely different outcomes. Why? Because they choose completely different path. And the only thing that decide is whether they will use AI or not, right? Why do I emphasize so much on this? Because the world is changing, and I'm about to show you something that helped me every single day. And yesterday I showed you my P&L, which is I'm doing about 1,000 to 3,000. Sometimes I do 4,000, a day. Sometimes I do like 700, 800, but on average 1,000 to 3,000, this range per day. And people always ask me, Desmond, you're so busy, you're running Future Trends. Then I see you always go play sports, because right after this, I'm going to go play football, right? I'm going to play football. Then tomorrow I have a pickleball training. I'm trying to be as active as I can. Then I travel for a week or 2 weeks. I want to go to different countries. How do you get time to do all this? Guys, because people always think I have a team of 6, 7 traders behind me that's trading for me. I wish I have 6 to 7 people that I can hire, they can trade for me. But I hate complaints. I don't like to work with underachiever. I want to work with people that just follow my logic, work based on my formula, and then make it happen. And I realized AI can help me out with that. And I'm going to introduce to you the first AI tool that I use every single day that helped me to do that. And it's called Watchtower. Why is it called Watchtower? I have no idea. My AI names itself Watchtower because my AI thinks it's very cool to call himself Watchtower, right? But this is the name, right? What it does is very simple. Every day, 2 times a day, right? I will actually get a notification, right, in my Telegram. Now, I used to hate using Telegram. How many of you heard of Telegram, but you don't use it? Or you have Telegram in your phone, but you don't use it, right? You don't really open it every day. If that's you, type in me. I'm that guy, right? I used to hate Telegram. So much spam, but now I've actually figured out a way around it, okay? So much annoyance. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to use Telegram. My friends are on WhatsApp. My family's on WhatsApp. Can we just use WhatsApp? How many of you agree, right? Then after I started using all these AI tools, I have no choice, but Telegram is my #1 messaging app now. In fact, I asked my parents, if you want to message me more often, you want me to reply you, use Telegram. Now I'm going to have an AI agent that actually reply back to my parents, right? So why I use Telegram is because Telegram's API and AI is better, way better than WhatsApp. So if you use WhatsApp, your WhatsApp can actually get shut down. So you have to be very, very careful. So one of the things you have to understand is, for me, Telegram is for business, WhatsApp is more for personal stuff. Then I can separate my mind. So it's easy. When I see a WhatsApp message, personal. When I see a Telegram message, it's business. Okay? How many of you feel like that is a very good separation? Typing good in the chat. So that's how I built this. In fact, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show you a little bit what it does. Okay, here's basically what it does in very simple English, right? It sits and watch the noise for me 24/7 around the clock. Okay, it basically go monitor the market for me. The smartest people, right? when they talk online, this could be Elon Musk, this could be like really smart traders and really smart investors, okay? When they discuss stuff online, the money that's moving, the narratives that's actually getting capital, getting money flow, hitting up, okay? This watchtower AI would actually go and start looking and spying, right? And instead of telling me everything, giving me all the information and confusing me, right? It hands me back a clean shortlist, the names that are actually catching the fire right now with the reason why attached, right? So one very important thing before we get started, I will show you my watchtower, but one honest thing before we get started is that the watchtower is tuned to me, my watch list, my sectors, the way I trade, the way it's personalized. So this isn't one I can just hand to you for free and then you could use it, right? Because that would be Trade Radar, something that I already shared with you yesterday. But if you want something personalized to you, something that is based on how you trade, your risk behavior, your risk appetite, what kind of industry you prefer, right? Watchtower is that. Okay, it actually monitor conversation online and hold that thought, because before the night is over, right? Before today's presentation is over, I will show you how you can actually have an opportunity to build your own. So let me just quickly, how many of you want to see my watchtower? If yes, type in W for watchtower, just so I know, right? Type in W, and I'll just quickly show you one. Okay, in fact, the watchtower just messaged me just now that could potentially be a trade. So I'll show you a few things. Okay, this is the first one. This is the watchtower you can see. It is a market screener. Basically, today is 23rd July, as you can see. It has told me that 5 very famous authors, and when I say authors, these are famous investors and traders, okay, they have been posting about Google. So what it shows me is that these 5 stocks here, okay, they have a lot of volume and momentum. So we have to go research this later, right? We have Google, we have Rio, we have Tesla, we have NRED, and then we have RTX, okay? Not just that, it will also put a star if it's highly convicted, meaning that you need to look at it right now, okay? Meaning that you need to pay attention to the stock right now, the star, right? If you see the 0 point, okay, now it just literally just send me another one, okay? You just keep sending me one, as you can see, right? So it's just telling me right now, Tesla is getting a lot of attention right now. So we have to go pay attention to Tesla. We have to pay attention to Google. We have to pay attention to NVIDIA. And not just that, when there is any news that is important, every morning it will send me like what they call a morning watch. It will actually summarize to me what's going on in the market, 1 to 2 lines about what's going on, each stock that you need to go see, what stocks that is getting hyped, but please avoid at all costs. Maybe the stock pumped, but it's telling me don't go in there. This is manipulation, news manipulation, meaning that maybe these companies go pay media to pump the news up, to pump the stock up, or there's manipulation going on. So it tells me to fade and avoid. But sometimes this can be a shorting opportunity if you know how to short, right? So, and then it also gave me like macro news, okay? It gave me the macro news, basically to let me know, hey, what is the news happening? What day we need to trade? What day we cannot trade? Not just that, guys. In fact, Watchtower just expanded. Right now, there is one that I actually separate out because I don't want all the information to be sent to me in one chat. I personally extended it so that it doesn't get the messages mixed. It tells me when insiders or politicians are buying. Now, this is delayed 30 to 45 days, okay? But when insiders are buying certain things, like we see these guys are buying TSM shares, and I don't know who this Alan Armstrong is, so you probably need to Google it. Let's say this is a politician. You see this politician buying Tesla, Robinhood, Qualcomm, VRT, T2, then we have to pay attention, okay? Because if we have like politician buying, we have to pay very close attention. Now, sometimes it will send something like this. Do you see this? Right? It will tell you. It comes even with like a message at the bottom. In fact, it has this red color thing called high conviction. If you see this, type in red color, type in red in the chat just so I know, the word red, okay? It tells you that you have to be careful because it's telling you that these politicians, you see they have this logo here. So these small ones, usually we don't care too much about it. We only care about the big boys, the big ones, okay? You see this one? And I know this emoji is very tiny, but this emoji symbolizes government officers. If this government officer, William Timmons or Timmons or whatever, how you pronounce it, so he is a Republican representative from South Carolina's 4th District, and he's serving in the Financial Service Committee. Very important. And he just bought heavy into SpaceX, right? So we have to put that into consideration. So that means SpaceX need to be on our watch list. Later we go to the chart, we will figure out what is a good price to buy SpaceX. We don't buy now. We wait with the chart because a lot of these politicians, they don't chart. You get what I'm saying? We just know what they buy. We know the market will move soon. So we need to make sure we go to the chart, we buy at the right price. Okay, if you pretty much get what I'm trying to say, let me know in the chat just so I know you understand as much as I could. Okay, as much as I could explain. So let me just quickly see. Okay. Can you guys understand me? Just typing you in the chat. Okay, good, good, good. I just want to make sure that I'm not going too quick. And I want to make sure that everything is key for you guys. Okay. Okay, good. I see the messages coming in. And the screen is not blurred. You guys can see the screen, yeah? So I just gone on to, give me 1 second. I just gone into, wait. Got too many telegrams. Give me 1 second, yeah, because I wanted to show you the right one. Give me a moment. Right, take a look. I just went and type in scan, right? Now it went and scanned for me 5 more in the market, what people are talking about, right? So when you see norm 9 over there, that means this is 9 times more, 9 times above the normal, right? Which means we really have to pay attention to Tesla. So later I'm going to look at Tesla. I'm going to look at Google. I don't know what this is. This Teamers is. I'm going to look at Teamers too, because all of these got star. Even SPY, the ETF has star, right? So we're going to look into it. It tells you whether bearish, mixed, bearish, bullish, bearish. Gives us a little bit of an idea how we are going to open the trade. Because later, if we go to Tesla, we find an opportunity to trade. Since it shows bearish, we're going to look for opportunity to short, right? If it's mixed, don't long or short, use TA to give you the indicator. Okay. Now, if you find it too busy, some people tell me, Desmond, that's fantastic. What you built is great. So people who know how to use this, they really will feel like this is so amazing. Because one of my, like for me, my biggest problem before having all of this is finding what to trade. Okay. It's not how to trade. How to trade is easy, right? When to trade, what price to buy, what price to exit, that one is easy for me. But I just don't have the time to always go and find out what to trade. So this gives me exactly 5 stocks that every single day I need to pay attention to and look at the chart. And if you find it too busy, guys, one of the things I can show you is going to be the Smart Capital Flow Live Terminal. This one I tried to show you just now, right? But it didn't work because a lot of you guys say it's blurry. I don't know why it's blurry. I think it's because of the protection encryption that is on the page. But this is Smart Capital Flow Monitor. Right now it's clear because this is slides. This is a picture. Okay, now it's clear. But I'll show you again. Okay, and we can see whether it still works. But if just now it didn't work, I doubt it will work this time. So we will try. Okay, we will try for you. You give me a moment. I'll try. If it works, fantastic. If it doesn't, no good. But it looks something like that. Every day there will be a new headline that comes out. It tells you where exactly the capital is leaving and where is it going to. Okay, how many of you think this is important, right? If you think that's important, type in I in the chat. Because if you're just a normal trader that just look at chart, you don't think this is important. But for me, as a trader and investor, knowing what to buy, this is so important. Why? Because I don't want to go long treasuries and corporate bond when they're going down. I don't want to go short technology when they're going up. How many of you agree, right? Why am I fighting against the trend with people with a lot more money? That doesn't make sense. So this is very, very important. You can see how it works, okay? Essentially, it's telling me that, money, this is, I think, taken yesterday or 2 days ago. Money was going into Lumentum, was going to Fabrinet, was going to Sienna, but it's leaving sporting goods. This is like Nike, okay? And Under Armour and all these kind of companies. So I'm going to share with you an example of how this tool works, okay? Can you guys see or it's blur? Maybe it's blur. Huh? Okay, let me know if you guys can see. Yeah, blur. So there's definitely something, some code that is actually blocking this page, right? But the data is not updated yet until 5:30 later, my time, which is 9:30 US time. So I can't even give you this. But later, 5:30, what I'm gonna do is I will take a screenshot of this and I'll show you. But right now, it says capital is leaving corporate bonds and long treasuries and going into technology and utilities. Okay. I will try. Oh, yesterday we tried a mobile version. It tend to work. What about this? Does it work? Is it better or still same? Better. Okay, we try. So we found a hack around this thing together as a team, right? We found a hack. So basically, it's telling me right now risk posture, we are balanced. So a lot of people in the market, they're fearful or they're greedy. Right now, you should be balanced, not too fearful, not too greedy either. But one thing you have to understand is, will you short technology right now? It's very hard because money is going in, but it's not as much money as a lot of people think. You see, right now it says moderate, meaning that the capital that is going in there is not as much as it should. So when we say big money going in, is usually 50 and above. Right now it says 24 out of 100. But you also have to understand right now it's summertime. Generally in July, August, September, most people in finance, they go on holidays. They don't trade as much. The volumes are lower. Okay. And then utilities is 21, energy is 21. This is the one that I want you guys to watch today specifically. Now, where are they leaving? Where is the money coming from? It's coming from, you see, coming out of corporate bond. They don't want the whole corporate bond anymore. 50, this is high, strong. Long treasuries, right? Mid treasuries, consumer discretionary, right? High yield, consumer staples, right? These are like your Procter and Gamble, right? Short treasuries, okay? Inflation protected, communication, right? So they're leaving all these to go into tech and energy. So this is something that you have to understand. Then you can also see all this big money, all these big money. We talk about hedge funds, we're talking about huge capital institution. How much they're holding right now? We can basically see they're holding 35% equities, right? Crypto is having a bit of a flow recently because of what happened yesterday. Okay, but they're not holding as much bonds. Then it will also give you an idea where in the particular sector, we talk about technology, right? Just now having flow, but go into what stock? It's going to Lumentum, Fabrinet, Ciena, Coherent, and Applied Optoelectronics. Okay, it's also going into memory and HBM, Seagate, Western Digital, Rambus, Micron, right? It's going to what? It's flowing out of what? Nike, On, Deckers, Lululemon, Dix. So it gives you a little bit of an idea where the money is transitioning. So where I want to play, in case you're asking, Desmond, then what's the point of you showing? What's the use of this? It tells me that if I want to trade, I go trade all these green color ones with strong flow, because that means I'll more likely hit my targeted take profit. I'll less likely hit my stop loss. And more important, I'll be able to make more money in there, right? This is very, very powerful, which is why I show you this. You see, I keep talking about this capital flow. It is not going to matter to people that just want to read chart and then just make money from chart. The reason is because these people, they are too lazy to do the capital flow research. And I was one of them until I found AI and it made things so much easy for me. You notice what just happened. I didn't guess. I didn't go on like a hunch or hot tip from a group chat. The tool showed me exactly where the attention is and the capital, right? Remember the stadium spotlight that I talked about yesterday? If you remember, type in yes in the chat, right? Once you figure out where the spotlight is shining, you go to the spotlight, you focus on trading that spotlight. And when it change, you also change, right? That's at the top of the triangle, done, the where. But the where isn't enough because plenty of things get attention, but they are still garbage, right? Which is why it's very important for you to understand how it all works by using macro and fundamentals, right? Now we hit the really hard part, the wall. Last night, I told you the middle layer, the fundamentals is the beast. It's very challenging. In fact, this is actually where you separate a real company and a hype, right? That's the wall most people actually give up because for majority of traders, they still cannot tell the difference between SK Hynix and Micron and Samsung. Some people think Micron does the same thing as NVIDIA. Some people think NVIDIA does the same thing as Google, right? Some people think Google does the same thing as Nike. I have no idea, right? But a lot of people just don't understand companies. So I'm one of them because I have severe ADHD. And one of the biggest problem for me in terms of like understanding these companies is sometimes I forget what they actually do, right? So what do? I developed something. You see, back then, this is where I'm going to show you the tool number 2. Back then, when I am looking for alphas, basically I'm looking for an edge to outperform the market. One of the things I do is pull out my phone, right? I would call and message my friends who work in Wall Street. And I will ask them, what are you looking for? What are you looking at? What are you working on, right? I want to know which direction they're heading. And then they'll tell me, oh, I'm looking at this company. And these guys were telling me about Coherent and Lumentum since last year, right? They were telling me about all this. So whenever my members, my friends, they ask me, how do you know about this stock before it pumps, right? How do you buy this? I bought Micron before it pumped, right? How do you buy all this stock? How do you know about all this stock before it comes up, right? And I say, because I call my friend who is a Wall Street stock bro. So I actually built a tool called Wall Street Stock Bro based on my friends who work in Wall Street, right? And it looks something like that. It's very simple on purpose because I don't like complicated. My brain is not very smart, right? My brain is not very smart, so I like to keep things as simple as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into my Wall Street Stock Bro, and I'm going to show you. Just give me 1 second. I have to put in my password. Okay. And I'm hoping that this thing doesn't go blur, but there we go. Can you guys see this? If you guys can see, let me know in the chat. Okay, or is it blur? Oh, blur. Okay, we know the magic. Yeah, if it's blur, what do? We make it mobile friendly. I don't know how it works. I don't know what's the reason for this. I think someone has to give me some idea, right? Okay, so it's very simple. Okay, basically, how I trade is very simple. I look at this Wall Street Stock Bro. Okay, again, it's inspired because of my friends who works in Wall Street. It's very simple because literally with this in 2 minutes, I can figure out a company very, very easily whether it's something that I should go pay attention to or I shouldn't pay attention to. Okay, and this basically is at least 5 analysts' brain being put into one. But you might see that's very simple because for me, I also understand that if I'm outside, out and about traveling, I don't want too much things to read. I just want simplicity. So first thing I look at is the US market fear and greed. Okay, you can see that right now, this one here has 43. The market is a bit fearful. That's great. Okay, remember, you don't want to be buying when it's in greedy area. You don't want to be like longing here. Right now, you should be taking a long position. You should be figuring out where to actually long stocks and what stocks to long. Okay, if you understand me, type in you in the chat. This is very important because you want to be opposite of this. When the market is fearful, you want to be greedy. When the market is greedy, you want to be fearful, as Warren Buffett says. Okay. Then the next thing you look at is going to be the wicks. This is volatility index. If the volatility is very high, like you see red color here, it will tell you it's very high. Red color will come out like what it was before. Don't trade on the day. Take a break. Just go chill, right? Don't make emotional decision and you say, oh, Google is underpriced right now. Let me buy because it's below the PE ratio, because below this ratio, because it's below Charlie Munger say buy at EMA 200. No, you don't touch anything when it's red color because that could actually destroy your portfolio. If you understand this, type in yes in the chat, right? This is very important. Only make moves on the green days if it's red days, stay away, just chill, take your kids out for a run, take your kids out to go play badminton or whatever you feel good about, okay? Then the next thing I want to do is, okay, we have quick scan and we also have deep dive. You can choose one, okay? So I don't know why it's like that. So let me just quickly put in. What was the stock that we figured out just now that came out? Okay, there was one that is called, well, Google and Tesla is being one, right? A lot of people would know this. I'll just try with Google first and show you guys, then we'll try another one, right? I type in Google, Googl, right? Type in the ticker, and then just click deep dive. Okay, is it still blur or can you guys see now? Let me know in the chat, right? Okay. Okay, right? Okay, cool. I'm very concerned about the blurry effect because I work very hard to make sure all these tools are, because these tools don't look so good. They used to be more bare bone. And the reason is because it was just me using it. Now I actually try to put a facade on it so it looks better. Now, guys, Google is telling me that Wall Street bro, imagine this, you call your Wall Street friend who works in Wall Street, right? You say, hey, bro, what do you think about Google long-term? Telling you, favorable. That's good. How many of you agree Google is a good long-term hold? If you agree, type in A in the chat. But midterm, we might see some choppiness, we might see some swings, right? That's fine, right? And now I want you to take a look. Google is below the discounted cash flow valuation, is below the Graham formula and the analyst consensus. So is this bullish or bearish? Okay, is this good for us? Okay, I personally think this is good. I think, how many of you here use Google every single day? Just type in me. Google Calendar, Gmail, Google Maps, YouTube, right? I don't even know what other, they have so many companies they bought that you're using their stuff you don't even know. That's the thing, right? I just bought this new Fitbit from Google. I didn't even know they bought Fitbit, right? There was this cancer company that do like cancer research, also bought by Google. I also didn't know, right? It was insane, right? So I even use Google to join Zoom now, Vincent, right? So now it's telling me, now it's not because I don't like to read. I'm not a very good reader. How many of you here, you're terrible at reading, right? You're a lazy reader. For me, I'm a lazy reader, right? So it tells me like all the high impact news that I just need to be careful for, right? Obviously, they got fined with the antitrust and then also their capex. okay, increase. But this is, we all kind of know, so it's just selling the news, and that's completely fine, right? And then it's also showing, are there any selling activity by insider? And they are selling activity by insider, right? 8 sellers are selling about 107 million, institutional ownership. Now we look at this short interest. This is very important, right? Are there people shorting it? Only 1.37%. It's very, very low, right? That means people are still bullish on the stock, right? So if people are bullish on the stock, that means if the price reach a very nice area to buy, people will buy. How many of you agree? If Google is really at a very nice price, you will buy as a trader and investor yourself. If you agree, type in A. This mindset, I want you guys to just think about this, because if you think like that, the masses out there will think like that, right? So, and he will tell you like, what are the red flags to be careful for? Okay, and Wall Street view. What's the Wall Street target, right? The low price, okay, the average target, the high price. Everything is here, and then give you the competition as well as the read strong cloud and AI growth offset by surging capex regulatory risk. Again, it might look very simple to you, this page, but everything was done in this manner so that I imagine myself sitting in a taxi, or imagine myself traveling, flying on a plane. I don't want to read like 13-page report. I want something simple, nice, colorful for me to just see, and I know exactly what to do, even using planes Wi-Fi, right? And this is how amazing this is. So the valuation that I use is going to be based on this, right? You can see. So you can see basically this one makes sense or not, right? It's absolutely simple, right? It looks simple, right? But this thing cost me hundreds of dollars just for my personal use alone, because, and a few friends also, because of how intensive it scrapes data and it analyzes the data, right? So just now we found a stock, okay? I used Watchtower. I went to Watchtower, as you can see. I went to Watchtower, I pressed scan. Just now, a few things came out. So let's say we have, okay, I don't know what this MBLY is. So let's check it out, right? I don't know what it is. So let's check it out. I'm going to go back to Wall Street Bro. Okay, I'm going to call my Wall Street Bro, and I'm going to ask my Wall Street Bro, what the heck is MBLY, right? So now it's going to go and figure it out for me. Okay, and remember, I also optimize it for speed, because I'm ADHD. If it takes like 5 minutes to come up with these fundamentals, I'm gonna give up. It has to be quick, right? People say it's blur. I'll try my best, guys. I don't know why my mobile optimize trick didn't work anymore, but here we go. Okay, mobile eye global. Okay, I don't know what that is. Okay, it's not in my watch list. Okay, so let's see. It's scoring now. And this sticker came to me to my Telegram through the Watchtower, right? I've never seen this before. Maybe I've seen this, but I don't even know about this, right? So it's telling me to pay attention to this one. So let's see. It's scoring very, very late, very, very laggy right now. Okay. If watch on mobile, minimize your window, maximize again, the ratio problem gone. Oh, it must be a bug on Zoom, yeah? Okay. Give me one moment. Let me just try again. Okay, because this is my first time showing all of this on Zoom, because even my Future Trends members, I think they have not seen this before, right? So let me just quickly scan it again. There's a little bit of a delay causing by my internet connection. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, let's try again. Let's try again. If not, we can go to another stock. Maybe this stock is too niche. Who knows? There we go. Okay, it's running valuation methods now. It's not blur, right? Screen is okay now. Okay, hopefully it shows it's scoring now. I think it's just gonna take a while, right? But this one came out here, Mobile Eye Global, pre-profit. Oh, okay. Long-term mix, mid-term mix, okay. Valuation-wise, it's still okay, it's still good, it's still healthy, right? It's you can see all the good news coming out. Now it's hunting red flags. It's trying to look for problems with this company, right? So this Wall Street bro is trying to actually go and tell me what's the problem with this company. It's telling me the problem is there are shorts. There are people shorting it 15.9%. This is 10 times more than Google, right? In fact, Intel, who apparently own this company, sold $1 billion worth of shares. So this one, you have to be a little bit careful. This tells me what? This is not an investment grade product. This is not an investment grade stock. You can trade this, but you don't hold this long term, right? So it's now giving me all this information. Okay. Now, giving me all this information, it also tells me exactly what I need to know. Q2 beat catalyzes recovery, execution is key. So if you feel like this company is interesting, you want to figure out more, you can go research it more. You can actually figure out, you can basically ask AI to tell you what it does. Okay. Now, this stock bro does what most people do in like 1 week into 2 minutes. And that's the war, right? That's the macro and fundamental. That's the tough part. We don't know what MBLY is, and then now we figured it out in like 2 minutes. Whether is it a tradable event or is it an investment event? What's the risk? We have insider selling, we have shorts piling in, right? So the middle of the triangle that allows me to actually understand it in just 2 minutes. Okay, with just a tool. That is what group 1 looks like. In fact, let's go to the next one that I think is extremely important. Okay, remember, before we begin the last one, I want you to know one thing. A great stock at the wrong moment is still a losing trade. I want you guys to just write this down if you can. A great stock at the wrong moment is still a losing trade, because a great company can still lose you money if it doesn't have a good price action. So what I'm going to do for this particular part is I am going to use charts. I'm going to show you how I do it. I'm going to show you how I actually use, right, TradingView and specifically chart to be able to actually find out the good entry and the exit. So with this, you need to answer 2 questions. Where do I get in and where do I get out? This is extremely important. Like example that I talked about yesterday, right? We saw it on the chart before a single headline. We talk about gold and silver. I didn't get into silver. I bought spot gold, but silver was a trade for me, okay? We always, when we do trading or when we look at the chart, we are always looking for one thing. Okay, I want you guys to type this word. This word is very important if you are in trading and if you are in investing. This word is extremely underrated, and that word is confluence. Please type in the word confluence in the chat, right? You have to understand that confluence is everything when it comes to building up your thesis and deciding whether to long, to short, or to skip that particular trade. Basically, confluence means stacking the evidence until you are sure. Remember the gold story I told you about, right? How we saw the smart money, the big institution, they were quietly selling weeks before the news ever broke. I remember I was doing a clubhouse session. A clubhouse was like a gathering of people in my Discord, Future Trends Community Discord, where I was just telling people, guys, I don't know what happened with gold. Something is happening. I have no idea what's happening, but someone is selling huge position. I'm not taking that risk and watch. I'm just going to sell with them. But if I'm wrong, I'll buy back later. That's fine, right? And we did exactly that, right? And we sold before the news came out, and we saw it through the chart. And that's what basically we're doing here. We call it smart money flow, being able to read where the big money really is, where they're moving before it appears on the news. Remember, never trade the news, because by the time the news come out, you are already late, right? How many of you agree? Type in A in the chat. Okay, so never bet on one single signal alone. I stack them. The pros have a word, they call it confluence. The more signals they agree, the higher the odds. So let me show you the 3 stack that I use when it comes to charting, right? My confluence stack. So confluence 1, I use my own personal indicator called the FT-EMA lines. Okay, this is something that we built personally. I built it for myself, right? And how it works is really cool. I'm going to show you really quickly as well, the FT-EMA lines, okay? Now, I don't know if I show you TradingView, it's going to be blurry or not. I have no clue, right? But I want you to understand that. I want you to see this green line here. Do you guys see the green line? Okay, if you see the green line, type in green in the chat. For years, Wall Street has been using the green line as a typical support. So every time the price touched the green line, it basically defend the price and they buy at the price. That's why Bitcoin has just been going up and up and up. And once Bitcoin go below this green line, it broke this green line and it just go down, right? That's why I've been telling a lot of people, I am not buying Bitcoin. A lot of people would keep telling me this is the Bitcoin bottom. People were telling me this is the Bitcoin bottom. I was telling them, guys, I ain't buying Bitcoin right now. I'm not buying Bitcoin right now. And people were like, oh, you know, you don't understand the technology, blah, blah, blah. Guys, I've been in Bitcoin since here, right? I know this better than anyone else, but the chart tells me a way more important story here. Okay, I want you to take a look. Do you see the yellow dots? If you see the yellow dots, type in Y for yellow, right? The yellow dots basically, so this is an EMA line, but this is not an ordinary EMA line. This is an EMA line that is coded and built as though as how Wall Street bots. So in Wall Street, if someone is tasked to buy huge amount of a particular stock, commodity, or crypto, they basically, the instructions come like that. Trader A, I want you to go buy Bitcoin on EMA 50. And Trader A's job is just to buy whenever it touches EMA 50, right? So this is built based on that. but we don't know what asset or what stock that these big firms or these big institutions they are buying. So how do I see whether there is signal or there is a hint that they are in the chart? Basically, how do I know whether the smart money, the hedge fund, they are in the chart? The way I see it is through those dots. You see the pink dots, you see the yellow dots, because those dots are not normal dots. Those dots are the price touching the line, not just touching the line, but bouncing up with strength. And the only thing that the chart cannot lie to you, they can lie to you through price manipulation. They can lie to you through different things that show on the chart. But one thing that they cannot lie to you is volume. Please type in volume in the chat, right? So this indicator that I've developed actually reads the volume, confirm it with the EMA line, making sure that there is a strong momentum out of it, then shows you the dot. The moment I saw, now back then I don't have this indicator, but I manually check it, I manually track it, and I realized that there was basically volume in this area. So I bought heavy here. In fact, I bought some here. I saw the volume appearing here. Then it go over here. Then I thought, okay, market top up, right? We have reached the top. So I sold all my Bitcoin here. Then it went back down. I saw them buying huge volume here. So I buy again. But I bought around here because I needed this to prove me that this is the volume appears. So we are always one day behind the institution, but that's fine. We are always few weeks ahead of the media. Remember what I just said. We are one day behind the institution, but we are a few weeks ahead of the media. And that is good enough. How many of you agree? Type in A in the chat, right? Type in A in the chat. Don't look at this volume because this screenshot doesn't do it justice, right? This is not prevalent to what I'm about to show you because I need to show TradingView for the accurate one. But my point is that we are not going to be earlier than institution. We are not going to be on the same day as institution, but we are going to be a day or two behind them, right? Meaning that after what they have done, if they have bought heavy Bitcoin here, then what I do is I wait and buy around here, okay? But at the time, news still haven't said anything about Bitcoin, okay? And then Bitcoin pump all the way to the top, right? Go down, do exactly the same thing. And the amazing thing about us at Future Trends is we managed to sell all our Bitcoin at about 110,000 to 108,000 around this range, which is great. And all this was because purely of that line, the green line. Because the moment the green line dropped, as I show you, the moment it goes below it, we knew we're entering bear market territory. That's how you see, and that's how you read the chart, right? It's not hard. You just need to have the right line with the indicators to give you a little bit of an assist. The Bitcoin, right? This single line that separates a Bitcoin bull market from a bear market is the EMA 50 on a weekly chart. So yesterday, a couple of you guys messaged me, Desmond, I would like you to talk about crypto more. I would like you to talk about, is it time to buy Bitcoin now? And my answer to you is very simple. Wait until the EMA 50 is flipped, then we get in. If not, we don't touch Bitcoin. We only trade Bitcoin. If you're following me, you understand this, type in you. And you might be saying, Desmond, why do you hate Bitcoin now? Guys, it's not whether I love or hate Bitcoin. It's nothing like that. It is just what the data is telling me. The smart capital flow is telling me that they're not going into crypto, right? The chart is not telling me, it's telling me that they're not going into crypto. So why must I go in? It's a bit stupid to go in my opinion. How many of you agree? Type in A in the chat. We don't fight the market, right? We don't fight the market. We follow the market. If you, I don't know if you guys watched The Odyssey. How many of you watched The Odyssey recently? I watched The Odyssey. There was one part where they cannot sail out of an island, right? Because the wind was blowing into the island. It's the same thing. If the wind is blowing into the island, why the heck you want to go sail? It's very challenging to sail. It's the same thing. If you understand this theory, type in yes in the chat. So my key point here that I want to show you is this, right? I bought Bitcoin at $27,000 in my first wave, right? Then I added more at 37 and more again at 73,000 around here, right? And I rode it all the way up. To be honest, I did sell some here. I sold all here, right? And then I sold all here as well. Okay. And the moment price closed below the EMA 50, I was telling everyone, guys, you got to get out of crypto. You got to get out of crypto. People were telling me about Trump will pump crypto, Trump's sons will pump crypto, the government will support crypto. Guys, I get it. But remember, we are one step behind the institution, but we are many steps ahead of the media. Never trust the media. When the media comes out, it's already too late. How many of you agree? Type in A in the chat. So I made a big call and I made a big decision. I sold all my crypto in this area here because the price went below EMA 50 and the price bounced back up. Any leftover, I sold everything. Okay. And until today, I don't hold a single crypto. I don't hold a single Bitcoin, Ethereum, nothing like that. Right. So I sold everything, every coin. And I made a lot of money. In fact, so much money at the time is that I was starting to look for real estate to buy. I was starting to look for stocks to buy because this was a very big profitable trade for me. And it was all because of this green line, right? So I want you guys to understand, I'm not telling you that, the market is over. I'm telling you that you have to be patient and wait for the opportunity to arise again. You see, okay, I want you to know that you should never fall in love with the trading asset. Write that down. This is so important. You don't fall in love with the trading asset. You can fall in love with people. You can fall in love with experiences, right? You can fall in love with the passions, but never ever with the position. The moment you fall in love with the trade, you already lost the trade. How many of you agree? Type in A in the chat. Very important, right? I see so many people, oh, but Desmond, you don't understand. This stock is great. Oh, this equity is great. This commodity is great. This crypto is great. If you say like that without giving me the thesis of like charts, smart capital flow, I already know one day or the other, you will lose money. It's just a matter of when, right? So I've been in this too long to know this. So here's the thing. The FT-EMA lines alerted me the second time the line broke, and it did something more. It shows the power is weakening as the volume is dropping. You see this yellow here? Guys, do you see this yellow dot here? It shows that institution who didn't manage to sell around here or who didn't self-finish their crypto around here, when the price reached this top part of this green line here, a yellow dot was formed. It shows me that institutions are ready to get out completely. There's just no way they could defend the price, right? And when that happened, I saw that, you know what I did? I didn't even care about thinking about buying the dip. I didn't care about Bitcoin is very cheap, you should buy now. I didn't even think about it like that. You know what's the first thing that came in my mind? I shorted it all the way down. Why? Because there's money to be made. Why not? Bitcoin is about to go down. I can watch it go down or I can make money shorting it. So I shorted it. How many of you would do the same thing? Type in same in the chat, right? So that is how I actually study the chart. So then the confluence number 2, this is very, very important. Okay, I never stop at one signal. I back it up. And the market is only ever going to do one of the two things. You have to understand. The whole market is very simple, right? Understanding chart is very simple. It's either going to keep going higher, right? It's going to climb, making higher highs, or fall, making lower lows. And that's structural. That's called market structure. And the two moments matter more than anything else. So it's very simple. How it works. This is the formula. And you will see this a lot in the charts in the next few weeks, in the next few months, I think until October, right? So please, 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 if you can, screenshot this, because this is going to be very important for you in the next few days to next few weeks to even next few months, because this will tell you when the market is about to bounce, right? I will show you how it works. It's very simple. The first, when the market is falling, suddenly stops, it will usually form like a W pattern. It can be many Ws or it can be just one very clean W. Type in W in the chat. So I know you guys are listening, you guys are paying attention, right? What we want to see is the W pattern being broken, right? The right side candle must close higher than the left side. And this forms something called chalk. Chalk is basically change of character, meaning that the chart was downtrend. Suddenly, a candle is closing above the previous candle. This shows that the direction is about to change, but there is no confirmation until we have something called a break of structure or boss. When a boss happens, this is where a confirmation goes in, you trade all the way up, right? When price breaks the next level up, it clears the next ledge, the new trend is real, not a fluke, a break of structure. I will show you a chart, right? I will show you a chart. Give me a moment. I will show you a chart of how I did it. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm very concerned about opening browser right now because obviously because of the blurring issue, right? I'll show you. Let me just clear all the random things on my chart first, so you guys can see how it works. Okay, and you guys will need to tell me whether it is blur or it is clear. Okay. Okay. It is blur. Okay, that's terrible. I don't know why it's blur. Are you guys on the phone or are you guys on a computer? I'm just curious. Okay, but I don't know if you know, but I've been buying this a while ago, right? And the reason why I've been buying this is because I didn't buy it here. I bought it here, right? you can see this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? There is a W here, and then we have a chalk, we have a boss. So I bought heavy for this stock called Twist Bioscience around here. Basically, this is a company that makes DNA for biotech companies to go do research, right? I bought around here in this area here about $50, and this thing flew all the way to $100. It's almost double my position, actually double my position. And in future trends, for those of you who follow, I actually made a call to sell here. So basically, I sold my Twist Bioscience. I think it will come back down into around this area here and this area here, then I will buy again, right? So this is how I make money. This is how we see. So if you want to be able to master the chalk and the boss, it's actually very simple. It is just more practices. It is just more being able to recognize pattern as much as you can, right? And then the third confluence stack is going to be liquidity zone. Oh, this is important. Okay. For those who follow me a long time and for those who understand how I trade, one of the key ways I trade is using supply and demand zones. Okay. I believe that on a chart, there are sitting limit orders. They are ready to buy and ready to sell. Okay. And this is the third layer. I call it liquidity zone. They are simply price level where there's huge stack of orders, could be buy, sell, long, short, that is sitting there like a magnet that the price gets pulled towards. It's where the big money is waiting to take their profit. Okay. So how we see it is very simple. Okay. This is an example of how it works. You can see, right? I have this indicator as well. It marks exactly where the sell orders are, and it marks exactly where the buy orders are. So you can see when the price go down, it went down here, and then the demand zone is formed. It came down, take the order. If you have an order here, right, you long it all the way here, you take profit in the red color. You buy in green, you sell in red. It's just that simple. Okay, if you basically get the idea, type in yes in the chat, right? So this again is done by my indicator. Okay, that makes things very easy. Later, I'll show you another example. And when I combine all these three confluence stack, it makes my life so much easier being able to figure out whether it is a good opportunity and a good time to buy. So enough talking. You know, I like to, if I talk about this all day, it's going to be boring and everyone is going to fall asleep. This is not the way. So this is the part I promise you. No theory, real money, life. I'm going to use my own Pepperstone account, and I want to be completely honest with you. Today, I'm trading. I just loaded $5,000 into a new account on purpose because the lesson tonight isn't watch Desmond gamble big money, right? There is a strategy to this, but the lesson is the process. Small size, correct process, repeated over and over. So I'm going to show you how it works, right? So, but before we do exactly that, what do we do? I'm going to, I obviously Watchtower, where is my Watchtower? So I'm going to pull out Watchtower, right? If you look back at my AI tool, Watchtower is telling me, okay, the first one you need to pay attention no matter what is Google and Tesla. So I already have these two. I already know these two I need to pay attention to. Fantastic, right? We're going to look at Google and Tesla, okay? And then the next thing that we have to do, is, you know, you can go to Wall Street Bro. We already search for Google, right? So why don't we search for Tesla as well, right? But I already know the Tesla answer. It's not going to be great, but click a deep dive. Okay, boom. Okay, let's see if my Wall Street Bro likes Tesla. Okay. So it's running a little bit slow today. I think that's because the market is about to open. There's pre-market, so it's just filtering news. Abby is saying very blurred. Can I just get a bit of a survey from you guys? How many of you here can see the screen like clear? If you can see the screen clear, type in clear in the chat or see in the chat. I'm just curious. Okay. Okay. So some people are clear. That's weird. So some people see clear. Some people are not seeing it clear. I'm very curious. I'm okay. The ones who type in blur, right? The ones who type in blur, were you on the phone or was initially blur, now it's clear? Okay, I don't know what's going on, right? I'm trying my best. It could also be because the screen, a lot of things are moving around, so that's why, okay? So it's telling you that Tesla is not a very good long-term hold. It's not a very good mid-term swing, right? So it's very close to the analyst expectation of price and just a lot of bad news. But guys, I want you to take a look at this. What is this? Okay, what is this? Okay, Musk bought 1 billion, others selling. It's blur now when you're scrolling. Okay, that's really odd. Okay, not really my internet. My internet is quite fast, 800 Mbps. Okay, shouldn't be that bad. Okay, Musk is buying, so that's good. So we get a little bit of idea, and then average target is $400. So we get a little bit of clue now. So what do? We go back to our chart. We go to this. I'll look at Google first because I like Google a lot. Okay, I think Google is one of the best companies to buy on this dip, in my opinion, right? So what do? So I have this chart here. First thing, what I want to do is I will usually turn on my FT momentum candles indicator. If you want to learn how to get this indicator, type in me in the chat. Okay, I have this indicator here. Okay, I have this indicator here, and once I turn on, I will be able to see basically which area where there is big buying happening. Now, big buying can obviously be hedge funds, can be governments, can be institution, right? Okay, I don't know why it's not appearing on this chart because I don't want. Okay, you know what? I guess I have to use my real chart, which is annoying. Yeah, okay. So you see, this is my real chart. This is the chart that I'm looking at right now. Okay, and you see the green color and the red color. I know it's very small, but if you see the red color and green color, you let me know. Okay, if yes, type in yes in the chat. Oh, excuse me. So you can see this red color and green color here. What does this green color means? That means a strong buying. Okay, red color means a strong selling. Okay, now I've identified this area here using Fibonacci, right? Something that I will teach if you're interested. Where this area here, I believe, is an area where, well, obviously price is there right now at 320, 24, 23. This is an area where what I want to do is I want to open a long position in this area between this area to this area here. Okay. What I can also do is I can open up my EMA line, okay, which is this indicator here, and I can detect, okay. Let me just go to the weekly real quick. Okay, to look for confluence. Remember what I said, I'm looking for confluence. I'm looking for a few things gathering together, stacking together. So I suspect price is going to come and touch this green color and then we bounce. You get what I'm saying? And touch this green color and then we bounce. So what do? If you want to open a trade, the best trade that you can do is you right click this indicator, you add alert on this indicator, or it's on maintenance. Bad timing, guys. Today I have like the worst timing, right? But you add an indicator, an alert on this indicator. When this green color line goes over here and this price goes over here and it touches, that is the time to open a trade. Okay, that is a time to open a trade. But the problem is, for majority of you who are on Asia time zone, right? We're one of the worst time zone to be trading the US market, right? You probably are going to be sleeping, right? So what you want to do is you want to use something called stop order or limit order, right? So remember, we have the EMA now. We have the zones here. This is a Fibonacci zone. This is also a form of demand zone, which is our third confluence. The second confluence, which is the chalk and boss, is if you are a newbie, you wait until the price bounce here, create a chalk and boss, then you only enter, right? That way you don't lose money or you don't hit stop loss. But how I would trade this is essentially I will start putting a trade around this area here. What do? Okay, I will go to my Pepperstone because the market is about to open and it's going to create a lot of havoc on my side. So I'm going to go and share this screen with you guys. Just give me one moment. Yeah, I'm going to try to share this screen with you guys. So now we know we want to enter Google at around 323 based on the charts. That's what the chart's been telling us. So I've loaded $5,000 here in my Pepperstone account. So what I need to do is just click start trading, right? And I'll just go to Google. I will want to trade Google, right? It's super simple. My belief is that this $323 to all the way to $300, these are all good entry points. So what I want to do is I want to go over to this and click buy. So this video has already been sent to you guys, right? So what I want to do is maybe since the pre-market price right now is only 321, so I'll straight away do 316, which is the last demand zone. Okay, 316. Okay, and then I'll go to this, let's see 10 lots here. So how you open a position is now my account has $5,000. Okay, $5,000. When your stop loss is hit, you should not lose more than 1% of that particular account size. So in this case, 1% of 5,000 is about $50. Okay. So what I will do is I'll make sure I don't lose more than $50. So I could actually open a trade like this, right? So if I hit my stop loss, I will lose only $50. But this is not the stop loss that I want to put My stop loss that I want to put is actually $300. Okay, so let me just quickly adjust this accordingly. Right, we're not going to do 100 lots. It's crazy. So it's going to be like, so I can only lose $50 here. So I'm just going to keep adjusting and recalculating until it's around $50. Okay, so it should be around 3.5. Yeah, somewhere around that. So I will lose around $56 if my stop loss is hit. If I'm right, then I would basically make good money. My target for this is I think Google will go back to $410. So I can take profit here and put $410. Okay. And then, which means if I'm right, I make $329. If I'm wrong, I lose $56. Right? $56 is about 1% of my account. So that is perfect. That is 1% risk. So I'm going to place a live trade right now with Google, and there we go. The trade is triggered. And then once the market open, it goes to 316, then I'll be able to take the trade. Right? The market will open in about 1 minute from now. Okay. So we're going to visit this a bit later, but I suspect this is going to be a bit of a few days of trade. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the slides here. Okay, give me one moment. So just now, I want you to understand my whole process. Okay. The first thing that I did earlier on is, what did I do? I show you the watchtower. The watchtower is telling me what are the stocks that's getting the highest volume in terms of mind share being talked about, and also in terms of where there's a big drop and a big pump coming in. That's usually where the opportunity is, because you want to trade where there is volume. And then the second thing is I use StockBro to figure out whether I want to go long or go short. Just now, I used the Wall Street StockBro to put in Google, and it's telling me that Google is extremely undervalued. If you remember that, type in yes in the chat. That tells me that it's better to open a long than a short. Why? Because the market believes that Google is undervalued for the revenue it's bringing in. So if I short Google, it's very risky, because there will be value buyers, value investors that will come in and buy this company, right? And then third, I'll use the chart. It allows to tell me when to basically get in, and then I use risk control, which is just using 1% of my account size just to trade, right? Which is $50 if I hit stop loss. That's the entire flow. You want to take a picture of this, you can take a picture of this. This is the entire machine. You just basically watch it run live. Now, usually I do this way faster. I can be able to do this in like 5 minutes, but I wanted to show you how I go from watchtower messaging me every day 2 times. Let me know where the opportunities are at. Let me know what are the latest news. And then the Wall Street StockBro will tell me whether this is long, short, this is bullish, bearish, right? And whether I should pay attention to this stock at all. Then I go to the chart, and what I do is I just basically figure out where do I enter my trade. Okay. And then I also figure out what price to enter and what price to put a stop loss. And then we have risk control, meaning that every time I trade, I put a stop loss. I put 1% for a medium conviction trade, meaning that that trade itself is, medium conviction, meaning that it's not super high conviction. Okay. So there we go. And that's how it works. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about why future trends even exist. Okay. This is very important, because you should know who you're learning from and why we do this, because this is the honest truth about this industry. Okay. So one thing is that it is full of gurus.